Traveling north on a desolate road just south of Cougar, Washington, I daydream as Douglas fir and western red cedar trees glide by my windows. This weekend, I'll be fishing on Yale Lake. However, I don't think I will get to see the blue ripples of the water today, as it is just getting dark. The last sign of the western sun is now hiding behind the tall trees to my left. Although I did try to leave work early, nothing ever goes as planned. This annual pilgrimage has always meant so much to me. Being able to organize my fishing gear in the bed of my gray Ford pickup is just as exciting as seeing the cabin I rent each July. When it comes to this fishing trip, the saying is true that the journey can be as satisfying as the destination, or however that goes. I am certain that this will be a great year if I can continue to have moments like these. The serenity of being able to clear my mind of all the stressors involved in real estate law during my drive makes these weekends that much more therapeutic. I hardly have time for many reflections at home with a wife, 2 kids, and a dog. Here, alone in my truck, I get to reduce my anxieties down to either an unimportant fact of life or a workable plan. As I round a bend, I see a young man walking backwards on the side of the road holding out his thumb for a ride in the fading light. Between us is a worn-out orange Ford Pinto parked on the side of the road. I don't particularly care to have him invade my privacy, but I also know that I wouldn't want to be walking alone on this isolated stretch of road in the dark. So against my better judgment, I pull over. I size him up in my rearview mirror as he jogs to the passenger door. Seems like a normal guy. Short hair, a clean dark t-shirt, and faded jeans. He's also in good shape. "Thank you so much," he says as he opens the door and hops in. "So, where are you headed?" I ask as I pull back on the road. "I'm going about 20 miles north to Cougar." "Oh, okay, that's not a problem," I say. "So what happened to your car?" "I ran out of gas," he answers sheepishly. "And I figured if I got to my mother's house, I could get a ride back with gas. You are a lifesaver. There are no phone booths anywhere in sight, and you're the only car I've seen for 20 minutes. I would have been screwed if you haven't stopped." "Yeah, that's why I take this road as well, to avoid cars. I wouldn't want to be traipsing on this road when it gets dark, so I felt obliged to pull over." "What's your name, by the way?" "I'm Mike," I say while holding out my right hand to shake. "Hi, Mike, I'm Adam," he answers as he takes my hand. We sit in silence. I don't even have the radio playing. I appreciate that he's not one of those talkers. I turn on my headlights and it's now mostly dark. It's another 10 minutes before he strikes up a conversation. "So where are you headed, Mike?" "On my way to a rent-a-cab about 20 miles north of Cougar to do some much-needed fishing." "Do you fish?" "I've been known to have a few good catches. As a matter..." Adam trails off and tilts his head. "Did you hear that?" I lower my window a bit and hear a flapping sound, as if someone is shaking out a very large sheet after a wash. Then the noise gets louder, almost drowning out the sound of the engine. With it now being night, looking up to the sky is useless. All the headlights reveal are the highway and the passing trees. It is not only the flapping sound that is disconcerting, but now the truck also seems to be shimmying, as if a strong wind is slamming against us. The shaking of the vehicle is so strong that Adam must grab the ceiling handle to keep from sliding across the seat into the door. "What is going on?" Adam asks with large eyes. I have no idea," I answer. With no warning, the truck shuts off, rolling to a stop. The battery is still working as the headlights remain on, but even after I place the gear into park and turn the ignition, nothing happens. There's not even the common crank sound that happens, just nothing. Adam and I stare at each other with confused looks. The flapping sound stops, and out of nowhere, a deer carcass falls from the sky no more than 20 feet in front of us. Both of us jump from the startle. I can see 4 large slashes in its side. We don't even have time to process the sight when what appears to be some huge gargoyle-type creature lands on top of it with its large black talons sinking into the corpse. We gasp in unison. My grip on the steering wheel tightens as the passenger freezes in his seat. It is when the thing rests on its kill that we notice the leathery wings that protrude from its back. It flaps them while remaining with the deer on the road, apparently not knowing whether it has the strength to lift it, while also considering who or what we are. The creature is at least 8 feet tall, with blue-tinged fur that barely conceals its huge, flexing muscles. Both the hands and feet are like the claws of a bird, its head shaped like a wolf, with the teeth to match. Amazingly, I can sense the huge yellow eyes can clearly see us through the glare of the pickup's headlights. "We need to get out of here," Adam whispers. "The truck won't start. I'm trying. Look!" I whisper emphatically as he turns his head to see my hand frantically going back and forth with the key. The beast begins to flap its enormous wings, which must be at least 20 feet from tip to tip, as it begins to secure the deer. The deer, about the size of a small man, is in its grasp. It seems that both the weight of its kill and an inadequate grip has triggered this meeting. "Well, if the truck won't start, should we make a run for it?" Adam asks desperately in a whisper. Then we hear the whoosh of its wings. "Trying to sink, Adam," I begin to say. Just as I am replying, it has secured the deer well enough to levitate off the ground, first dragging, then lifting the animal over the truck. The deer's hooves clack against the hood of the car, and then the roof. The flapping sound now starts as the truck begins to shake. The whooshing is first loud, and then becomes quieter and quieter, going off somewhere into the distance. Instinctively, I try the switch one more time, and the car turns on, as if nothing happened. I flip it into gear and lay on the gas. The passenger that I only met 10 minutes before is slamming the dashboard with his open hand to signal that he wants me to go faster. I oblige without question. The intense dread that the creature will come back, or may even have friends who are still hungry out there, overpowers me. Both of us are experiencing a primal fear that I never knew existed. "What the hell do you think that thing was?" I ask in shock. Well, I heard of something like that, but I thought it was bullshit," he replies. "A few years back, some guy from Cougar claimed to have seen something similar. I guess it was the same thing. That was freaky, man." Adam nervously provides the directions to his mother's house once we arrive in Cougar. When we pull into our driveway, I release a large sigh. We sit motionless for several moments, alternating our unblinking stares at each other, and then at some random point on the dashboard. Having regained some composure, I state, "Well, I guess I can say it was nice meeting you, considering I don't know what I would have done if I had been alone." "What could have happened to me if you didn't pick me up?" Adam counters as he begins to tremble from the thought of it. "Walking alone in the dark, me about the same size as that deer and no cars? You probably saved my life." Let's just say that our meeting was fate. "Thank you more than I know how to say thank you," Adam says earnestly while extending his hand for a farewell handshake. "You're very welcome," I reply while heartily shaking his hand. "I'm glad my decision to pick you up was the right one. Not sure how many people would believe me if I told them what we saw, so I'm glad to have another witness." Adam opens the door and hops out. The light his mother left on for him casts a shadow over his face as he turns to wave goodbye. I wait for him to enter the front door, and then I put the truck in reverse. Decided to continue north rather than possibly running into that bat thing again. I have another 40-minute drive before I reach my cabin. My thoughts are stuck on what I saw. It behaved as if it knew what we were. The lights of the truck didn't seem to alarm it. I don't even think it realized that it was what caused the truck's transmission to die. I grab some fast food and settle in my rented cabin. The stress and drive have exhausted me, so I turn in early and somehow quickly fall asleep. My dreams reflect the incident on that lonely road, but I still sleep soundly. The next day I wake up early to fish, even though my stomach is still in knots. My gear is still in the bed of my pickup, so go outside to get things in order. I pause as I take in the sight of my truck. The hood has dents, and there was blood trailing over the cab.
Well, a big thank you to Fright Night for letting me use the story that he shared on the Paranormal Amino. And to everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not like and share the video? It'd be much appreciated. Links to my social media in the description below. I also stream every weekend on Twitch at MadFireGamer, and I have another YouTube channel called Talking Detroit Tigers. But if you want to see more of the Ghost Watch, why not subscribe for more paranormal activity, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.